Since the ancient Greeks believed in a wide variety of gods and spirits, the number of Greek gods was enormous. Due to a poor understanding of the world, ancient people attributed natural phenomena to higher powers. There were gods and goddesses everywhere, and they shaped how people lived. The most well-known gods, and those at the center of ancient Greek religion, were the 12 gods of Olympus. However, there were many more than just the 12, and many of them ruled the universe before the well-known Olympians. Let's unravel the confusing Greek god family tree from the very beginning. But before we start, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Welcome to the mythological world. Now, without any further delay, let us get back to the topic. Greek gods were different in different ages, and thus they are classified into 3 categories. Number 1 is the primordial gods. Number 2 is the Titan gods. And the number 3 is the Olympian gods. Now, first of all, let's discuss the primordial gods. Around 700 BC, Theogony, an origin story by the poet Hesiod, provided the first written cosmogony, or the beginning of Greek mythology. The Theogony describes the universe's journey from nothingness. They are referred to as chaos, a primeval void to its being. Eros, the god of love and procreation, emerged from chaos. As we can see, the ancient Greeks considered love one of the most fundamental forces in the universe. Tartarus, the original god of the underworld, was born in a dark place like the abyss. The personification of Earth, goddess Gaia, then followed. Chaos also gave birth to Erebus, the god of darkness, and Nyx, which is explained as the goddess of the night. Gaia gave birth to Urea, the mountain god, and Pontus, the sea god, and Uranus, the god of the heavens. The Titan gods. According to Greek mythology and ancient Greek religion, the Titans were the pre-Olympic gods. Gaia, Mother Earth, and Uranus, god of heavens, were their parents. They had 2 siblings, both of which were produced from the coupling of Gaia and Uranus, the Hecaton chairs, meaning hundred-handed ones, and the Cyclops, meaning circle-eyed ones. Uranus despised his offspring and imprisoned them deep beneath the earth, in a place called Tartarus, the depths of the underworld. Faced with her offspring imprisoned, Gaia fashioned a lethal sickle and delivered it to her son Cronus. Cronus hid until Uranus came to bed with his mother, at which point he rushed out and slashed off his father's genitals, which fell into the sea. Cronus freed his other Titans from jail, ushering in the age of the Titans. Cronus married the Titan Rhea, who gave birth to the majority of the gods. Cronus, terrified that his children would usurp his reign, imprisoned and swallowed them whole as soon as they were born. Rhea begged Gaia for help, who took pity on her and concealed Zeus when he was born on Mount Ida in Crete. When Cronus arrived to eat his son, Rhea tricked him by feeding him a stone instead. Gaia reared Zeus until he was strong enough to confront his father. Cronus was forced to free Zeus' siblings after the two clashed, sparking the war between the gods and the Titans. This war is also referred to as Titanomachy. The Olympian gods. In the War of the Titans, the Olympian gods ascended to power by defeating the Titans. They were Cronus and Rhea's children. The fight lasted 12 years until Zeus freed the Cyclopes and the hundred-handed giants, who Cronus had imprisoned. The Cyclopes bestowed Zeus with his legendary thunderbolt, Poseidon with his trident, and Hades with the hat of darkness, tilting the battle's balance. After being defeated, the Titans were cast into Tartarus, a prison deep within the underworld. So began the reign of the gods. Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades agreed to share rule by drawing lots to determine where they would reign. Zeus was in charge of the sky, Poseidon of the seas, and Hades of the dead. Zeus, king of the gods, governed from his throne on Mount Olympus, the immortals' home, frequently employing his thunderbolt and eagle symbols to warn or inspire mortals. Depending on his mood, Zeus was responsible for all weather variations, from lightning to snow. Zeus was also a defender of the home and strangers, which meant that being a lousy host might get you in trouble. Zeus married his sister Hera, from whom the gods Ares and Hephaestus were born. Zeus was also notorious for his numerous affairs with other goddesses, from whom Athena, Hermes, Apollo, Artemis, and Persephone sprung. He also had several affairs with mortal women, from whom he created the god Dionysus and many heroes such as Perseus and Hercules, most of whom were punished by the jealous Hera. Among the most powerful gods, Poseidon ruled the sea, created earthquakes, and was the deity of horses, highly valued in ancient culture. He possessed a palace on Mount Olympus, but an even grander one beneath the sea, where he spent most of his time. Sailors should pray to Poseidon and make a proper offering or risk dying at sea. Crossing Poseidon was a horrible idea since he kept a vengeance and might punish you severely. King Midas lords over the island of Crete in the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. Yearly, he offered Poseidon his best bull. Instead, he withheld his beloved bull, a massive white beast. Poseidon was aware, but instead of pursuing Midas personally, he chose to punish his spouse. He forced her to fall in love with the bull, resulting in the Minotaur's creation, a half-man, half-bull beast. Hades, the eldest of the brothers, reigned over the Underworld, which housed the spirits of the dead. He united his reign with his wife, Persephone, and the two were revered as fertility gods. The Underworld was guarded by various guardians and trials, making entry difficult for the dead and nearly impossible for the living. They crossed through the gates of the fatal river Styx. The only way in was to obtain passage from Charon, the ferryman. Charon demanded payment, which is why Greek burials involved placing money in the deceased's eyes. If the soul could not manage to enter, they were doomed to spend eternity on the banks of the Styx. Cerberus, the famous three-headed hound who guards the gates of the Underworld, stood behind Charon. Finally, the soul will arrive before the Underworld's three judges decide where it should go. They can go to Elysium, the fields of Asphodel, or Tartarus. Elysium is a tranquil paradise where the souls of heroes, demigods, and especially good humans reside, similar to heaven. The Asphodel Meadows is a location for regular folks who have accomplished nothing noteworthy in their lives, good or bad. Tartarus is akin to hell in that it houses not only titans but also criminals who offend the gods and are punished for eternity. Hera, Zeus' sister and wife and queen of the gods, was the goddess of marriage and women. Therefore, she was highly regarded in Greek society. She was one of the most vindictive and spiteful goddesses, punishing women who had children with their husbands. Hera stopped Leto from giving birth while she was pregnant with Apollo and Artemis. She kept Io, another of Zeus' mistresses, as a heifer and had the hundred-head monster Argos guard her. Hercules is a well-known story of her jealous vengeance. Hercules was Zeus' illegitimate offspring. Hera sent snakes to kill the future hero as a toddler, but the demigod crushed the beasts with his own hands. She later drove him insane by forcing him to murder his wife and children, which triggered his 12 labors. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war and the child of Zeus and Medes, was not birthed in the usual way. Zeus, seeing a sign that their offspring would usurp the kingdom, swallowed Medes while she was pregnant. Zeus developed a severe headache as a result of this. He asked another immortal who was supposed to be the fastest to slice his head open with an axe. Athena was birthed from his brow, leaping out in full battle attire and yelling a war cry. Athena was drawn to heroism, assisting heroes such as Perseus and Hercules. Odysseus was her favorite, and she worked tirelessly to keep him safe so he might return to his birthplace. Athena was worshipped in the city-state of Athens, which was named after her. She competed with Poseidon for the city, each attempting to give it the best present possible. Poseidon used his trident to strike the ground, causing a stream of water to flow up. Athena kicked the ground, causing the first olive tree to sprout. The gods declared Athena victorious, and the city was named after her. Athena was also among the sacred virgin deities, and a temple was built in her honor on the Acropolis in Athens. The Parthenon was titled after Parthenos, which means the virgin. Ares was a fierce and ruthless battle god. Both god and mortals disliked Ares. He represents the basic wrath and violence of the battlefield, not dignified or heroic conflict. Ares had an affair with Aphrodite, the god Hephaestus' wife. When her spouse was away, the two would sleep together. When Hephaestus discovered the truth, he constructed an invisible net, hung it over his bed, and informed his wife that he was leaving. He went into hiding, and when Ares and Aphrodite got into bed together, they were entangled in the net and unable to move. Hephaestus summoned all the gods and invited them to view the two nude immortals caught in the net. Laughter erupted everywhere, and it was only by Poseidon's intervention that they were freed. Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty. She is in charge of sexual attraction to mortal and immortal beings and frequently abuses her powers for fun. According to several accounts, she was either born from Uranus' genitals or as another illegitimate offspring of Zeus. When Prince Paris of Troy was tasked with offering an apple to the loveliest goddess, Aphrodite played an important role in the Trojan War. Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite each offered him a different reward. Paris selected Aphrodite, who promised him Helen, the most beautiful woman on the planet. Unfortunately, Helen was married to Sparta's king, Menelaus. When Paris came to Sparta, Aphrodite cast a spell on Helen, causing her to flee with him. The Trojan War began when King Menelaus and his brother Agamemnon recruited a strong army to reclaim Helen from Troy. Goddess of the hunt and Apollo's twin sister. Artemis was a lethal archer and a vital member of Olympus. She kept an eye on both hunters and their prey, ensuring that the wildness was kept in check. Artemis is also admired for her virginity, which she guards jealously. Actaeon, a hunter, once came across her naked while bathing. Artemis then transformed the guy into a deer and unleashed his 50 hunting dogs on him, causing him to die in agony for his sin. Apollo, Artemis' twin brother, was a deity of many things. He was a deity of archery but also light and music and was depicted holding a lyre as much as a bow. Apollo is associated with prophecy. He was born in Delos and venerated the island by establishing an oracle. Later, he went to Mount Parnassus and slew the giant snake Python. He built a temple where he had accomplished the miracle, laying the groundwork for the famous Oracle of Delphi to live. Hermes was considered to be God's messenger and patron of thieves. Among the gods, he is known as a prankster. He was known to play practical jokes on his fellow divinities and steal from them. When he reached the age of adulthood, he adopted the duty of messenger, carrying a golden stick as a symbol of his power. He is frequently portrayed wearing a winged hat and sandals while flying around and delivering messages. Demeter is considered to be the goddess of agriculture and harvest guard. Her daughter, Persephone, was the only thing she treasured above everything else. Hades, who had fallen in love with Persephone, was also attracted to her. He opened the ground and pulled the girl down to the underworld one day when she was collecting flowers. Demeter was devastated when she discovered this and looked for her daughter for 9 days and nights until the sun god Helios revealed the identity of her kidnappers. Demeter shut herself away for a year, refusing to leave until Persephone was returned. The world sank into starvation without the goddess of agriculture. Zeus commanded Hades to release Persephone to preserve the world. Hades had served the girl dead food, a pomegranate, implying that she was linked to it. Zeus determined after considerable deliberation that Hades could have Persephone for 3 months of the year. Demeter might have her for the remaining 9 months. This mythology also answers why the winter months are frigid and the plants die as Demeter awaits her daughter's homecoming. Hephaestus, the god of smithing, had a tough childhood. Because he was born lame, his mother Hera planned to cast him off Olympus into the sea to drown. He later went to the abode of the gods, where Hera gave him Aphrodite as a wife to reunite with him. He was a brilliant architect who designed several of Olympus' palaces. He also built the equipment for numerous warriors, including Achilles, for whom he created armor and a splendid shield. Dionysus, the god of wine and partying, was possibly the most entertaining of the Olympians. Frenzied women known as maenads and half-goat males known as satyrs pursued him. In Greece, he acquired a cult following where his followers would engage in mass drinking and the orgies for which his fabled friends were famous. Conclusion. From the ferocious and destructive Ares to the lovely and alluring Aphrodite, the Greek gods embody humanity at its best and worst. The epic power struggle among parents and offspring and an everlasting pursuit of world dominance is depicted in Greek mythology. Tales passed down from generation to generation reveal them to be some of the most influential deities in human history, with an impact that continues until today. That's all about Greek gods. Which is your favorite Greek god? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching.